Good morning. Can you guys hear me? Let me get my hair out of the way. Happy Labor Day. I can't believe we're already here. And the summer is over. It's so sad. I came down to have my latte, and Davey took Brecken squirrel hunting this morning. So Bree's going to work for a little bit. So I wanted to get on here and chat with you guys because I want to talk to you guys about being an entrepreneur and all things related to that. I'm specifically talking to women and stay-at-home moms, young women, people that don't have many options, let's just put it that way. I stayed at home with my kids for 20 years, so last year I went to work, and I could actually take my youngest with me if I wanted to, or he could go, actually, no, he went to school. So I went to work because he went to school, and my daughter graduated, but all those 20 years, I was always trying to find something to do, something extra, because, 40 hours pays the bills, and if you want anything extra, you're going to have to do something extra. So, I was always trying to find something to do, something extra. I wanted to be creative, I'm a creative person, so I wanted a way to express my creativity. I wanted a way that I could justify my creativity and get a return off of it. So I started sewing, and in 2008 I opened my Etsy shop, and I've had that ever since. So that's been 13 years, I think. So here's what I wanted to tell you guys is if you're in the same position that I was, okay, millionaires have at least seven streams of income. So I want you to think of it that way. Whenever you're thinking about what can I, let me know if you can hear me or not. I've got my earpiece in here. 7 streams of income, okay? So we don't ever want to put all of our eggs in one basket, right? If you have a lot of money to invest, you're going to be advised to diversify your money and your portfolio and not put all your money into one basket, okay? So this same thing can apply for all the way down to someone like a stay-at-home mom, okay? I want you guys to understand this. Like, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Like, you do have control, you do have power, you do have options. And so my options as a stay-at-home mom was I started my own sewing business, I babysat for a little bit, and I did direct sales. Or you can sell your clothes, sell stuff out of your house. But never, ever only limit yourself to one option, to one stream of income, okay? Because what happens when that dries up? Like myself, last year, my sewing has been that's been my bread and butter for the past 13 years. And last year, when COVID hit, all of my suppliers, my source of fabric, they all were 30 days out at least. You can't really take orders when you're 30 days out. Like when I can't order as I need, I can't stock, a lot of fabric for everything that I made. And so, thank you. And so that scared me, to be honest, because I was like, what am I going to do now? Like, I can't get my fabric. What am I going to do? And so this is an example of why it was good. It was great while it lasted, and it's back to normal now. It's a little bit different, but it's back to normal as it can be. And I still have that option. I can still sew. I can still make extra income with sewing. And I'm opening a coffee shop. Okay, so that is food. That is essential. That's an essential business. And but that's not my only options. I cannot put everything in one basket. Like, I can't shut everything else down and just throw everything into one thing. Okay, so I'm a woman, I'm a female, I don't have a lot of money, I can't go invest in real estate, I can't go, do big things. But for me, direct sales is something that I can do. Okay? Now, I'm not trying to talk you into joining my team or anything. I just want to give you guys like an honest opinion about this, okay? There's a lot of negative opinions about direct sales. And here's my take on it, okay? It's affordable. It's something that women can do. It's something you can do from home. It's something you can do from anywhere you're at. It doesn't matter if there's COVID or not. You can still do this job. And the best thing is like, it can be as big as you want it to be. And this is why I love it, is because when there's downtimes and other things, I can pick this up and just take off with it. It's always there. I'm not going to let that go just because I open a coffee shop, because it's another stream of income. No matter how small the stream is, it's still a stream, and it's easier to get the water flowing than to try to prime the pump and put water in and start it, from scratch. So it's not, direct sales business is not it's simple, but it's not easy and it's not quick. And this is why people get a bad taste for it, is because, yeah, there are some people that, they just join and blow up and go to the top and make loads of money, okay? That does happen. I know people that's happened to. But you have to understand, this kind of business is like an investment. This is something that you invest your time in and you invest years in, and then it pays you off. Like, it will keep paying you off once you get it built up. And so, no, I'm not where I want to be. I've been in this for 4 years, but it's a stream of income. It's something that I'm working on, and I just keep feeding it, and I just keep plugging away at it. And there will be a time when all the work that I put in will pay off, and I will be so thankful that I stuck with it. People don't get instant results, and they run out of their market, and they can't see any other possibilities, and so they get discouraged and they quit. Well, let me tell you something. Like, you are not supposed to look. Your job is the why and the what you're doing this for. And the how part is the part that we get hung up on, and that's God's responsibility. He takes care of how this is going to happen and how it's all going to work out. That's not my responsibility. So I know why I'm doing this. I know what I'm doing. I know who I'm doing this for. But I don't know how it's all going to happen. When I run out of my warm market, I don't know who's next, but I'm just going to keep plugging away at it. I'm not going to quit. I'm just going to keep going, because it's proven that it works. It will work if you stick with it. If you keep doing it, if you keep following the people that's done it and has proven that it works, and you get plugged in and you follow the plan, it'll work for you too. It can't not. It's just one of those things. And so that's why it's important. So I would encourage you today to think about all of the different streams of income that you can have. What can you do to generate streams of income for your family? Just because you're a stay-at-home mom or you're a young woman does not mean that you can't have multiple streams of income. Think outside of the box a little bit. And I'll try to share some ideas on here. I'll try to come up with some ideas and share them with you guys. But there's lots of ways to generate income. And for me, personally, I want to acquire all the skills that I can, because I never know when they're going to come in handy, when my life might depend on it, when it might be a stream of income for me. And maybe $100 isn't very much, But at certain times in your life, $100 can be a lot of money. And so my direct sales business is like that. It's like, some months it's just been like, whatever. But then some months when I really, really needed that check, it was like, yeah, that was really amazing. Like, that was amazing that I got that check on Friday. We get paid every Friday and on the 15th of every month. So that's like a huge blessing because I have a bill that comes out of my big checks, what I call it, on the 15th. And so I know every month that I can depend on that. So who couldn't use an extra $200 a month? Like, how can you generate $200 a month? What can you do? Can you babysit? Can you sell something? Can you go thrift storing and resell? Can you make food and sell it? Can you teach something, teach some sort of classes, like to generate some income? There's lots of ways, and I think people, it's easier to play the victim card than to get up and do something. To just be like, I don't have anything. I don't know anything. I don't have any options. I don't know any people. And that's just a cop-out, because if you're watching this on a cell phone with internet service, you have the tools and the information at your fingertips to learn whatever you want to learn. And you know what people pay the most for? They pay the most for what other people have in their heads. So put something in your head and start studying something. Start learning as many things as you can, but start with one thing at a time. Learn enough. This is what I do. I learn enough to be able to talk about it, and then I move on to the next thing. I don't ever really master anything. I wouldn't say I'm a master of anything. And I don't even want to talk to people that are masters of everything that I know, because I don't know enough. I don't know enough to have them kind of conversations. And so, but I learned just enough to know enough to talk to somebody about it. And if nothing else, it makes you a more interesting person. You can have really interesting conversations if you know more about more things. And it never goes to waste. So start putting something in your head and start taking ownership and taking responsibility and like taking control of your situation instead of feeling like a victim of it. Because it doesn't matter what situation you were born into. Like, you have a cell phone in your hand. You have everything you need in the palm of your hand to learn whatever you want, to become valuable. And people trade their money for value. So this is what you're doing, is what do I have in my possession, in my mind, that is valuable to someone else that they would trade me money for? Because that's how it works. People aren't going to give you money for nothing. You have to give them something. There has to be an exchange, and it has to be worth something to them. And so here's the deal with products, is you have to have a product that is either cheap enough that they won't buy it elsewhere, or unique enough that they can't find it elsewhere, or hard enough to make that they don't want to make it themselves and they'll pay you for it. Okay, that's what I've noticed. When I go to pick something out, when I make a new pattern design, new dress design, there's certain things that I won't make because it's too easy for everybody to make it, and they're not going to pay the price that I want for it because they can make it. Okay, so I pick something, or I make things that's a little bit difficult or appears difficult, because and they don't want to try to make it themselves, or they can't make it themselves, or whatever. But it has to appear valuable. It has to be valuable in order for someone to exchange their money for it. So this is your homework for this week. For today, just sit down with a piece of paper and write down all the ways that you can have. How can you have 7 streams of income? As a stay-at-home mom, as a young woman, this is who I'm talking to when I'm on here talking to you guys. I'm not talking to no men. I'm not talking to people that's already got this, they've got all this corporate stuff. I'm talking to people like me that stayed at home with their kids, that felt like they didn't have any options to bring income in. You have ways, and you have talent, you have skills, and if you don't, you can develop them, because you already have some tendencies in you. You already have some things that you lean towards that you're good at, and what you need to do is just develop those. Just write those down, develop those. If you have a computer, like, designing and personal assistant, like online personal assistants, and like, managing stuff and creating stuff. Like, there's so many jobs that just requires a computer that you can do from home. But you've got to get really good at what you do. You need to get good at it, and you need to learn the first thing I suggest everybody learns is marketing. You need to learn how to market yourself. I mean, if you can't show people what you are, who you are, what you're about, what you have to offer, they're not going to know. They're not going to want to trade their money for your time and skills if they don't even know what you have to offer. So I always suggest that first. Like, start with learning how to market yourself. And I know it's really awkward and it's really painful to put yourself out there. But this is the world that we live in. If you don't go out of your house because you're staying at home with your kids, this is the only option that you have, is to get on your phone and to promote yourself and what you have to offer people. And it's uncomfortable, but this is the way it is. People aren't going to buy from you if they don't know, like, and trust you. They have to get to know you. You have to be willing to put yourself out there, to be vulnerable, to show who you are, to show what you're about, to show what you have to offer. And then you're going to attract the right people to you. There's going to be people, it's a vulnerable position to put yourself out there, to share about yourself, to let yourself be seen and known, and the things that are important to you and things that are personal. And it's very painful sometimes. But that's the cost. And you have to decide, am I willing to pay that cost? Am I willing to put myself out there in return for what I'm wanting? And if you're not willing to do that, then you probably just should do like babysitting or something, like locally, selling food or something. But if you're wanting to get into, digital things and some of the other things that I mentioned, people are going to want to know who you are. The people that are not local to you, that don't know you locally, they're going to want to know you. It's like fabric. We want to touch it. We want to feel it. We want to know, what does this shirt feel like? What does this piece of fabric feel like? Well, in the online world, if you're marketing yourself, like, people don't know you. They want to know you. They want to hear you. They want to see you. And so this is why it's important to go live. This is why it's important for people to see you and hear you, and to get to feel your heart and to understand who you are and where you're coming from. So that's my suggestions for you. I'll just stop right there because I can overload you. But start thinking about, how could I have 7 streams of income? Cut it in half. How can I have, three streams of income? What are things that I can do to bring in 3 streams of income? Okay? So my suggestion also is to go ahead and get these started now. Get people familiar with it. Get your name out there. Get the word out there. Because, just like I said earlier, it's easier to get the water flowing than to try to prime the pump and start it when it's bad, when it's a hard time. Because everybody else is. Everybody else is trying to do something too. If you're already doing this, if you're already known for babysitting, or you're already known for baking, or you're already known for your direct sales, or whatever you choose to do, when hard times come, you're not introducing something new. You're not like, hey, give me your money, I'm doing this now. You're already doing this. You're already established. So I recommend starting this before it gets hard, to get your streams of income going now. Get the word out. And maybe you don't do that all the time. Maybe you don't babysit steady, or you don't you don't cook all the time, but at least you're established and people know what you're doing. And so I have lots of those things. Like, I have several different things that I do, or I can do, or I can pull out of the closet and take up and bring back to life if I need to. But I always keep my direct sales going, and I've always got my sewing is always on the, it's kind of like on the back burner. It's still on the stove, but it's on the back burner. I don't really keep, I don't keep that flame too high, because I don't want to cut it off, but I don't want to do it all the time anymore. So find out what you can do. Learn how to market yourself. Figure out your colors, your logo, your scheme, all that. What do you want people to take away from what you're presenting when you market yourself? Like, what do you want them to feel? It's not really about what I like when it comes to my logo. It's about what is going to appeal to people and what's going to stick in their mind. What's going to look good on my merchandise, what's going to look good on my products. Because the logo that I picked out for my coffee shop, I don't really even like. I didn't like at the time. It wasn't my favorite one. But I thought ahead, and I checked off all my lists. You know, like, this one's the one that's going to look better. This one's going to fit on things better. This one's just going to be the best one. Even though I don't like it the best, this is the best one for what I need. And so, anyway, that was just a bonus. But I hope you guys have a good day, and I hope you get pen and paper out today and think about what all you can do. Start writing down your skills. Start writing down your interests, your hobbies, and things that you can monetize. What can I do? Can I do an Instagram page, like outfits of the day, like, but just keep in mind, though, here's my last tip. Keep in mind that anything worth having takes time to build. So no matter what you choose to do, be prepared to be in it for the long haul. Like, just know, like, this is going to take a while to build up. Like, be prepared to want to stop before you get started, or once you get started. That's completely normal. It's going to be exciting at first, but then it gets hard, and then it's like discouraging, and you're not seeing any results. But keep going. Keep going. You go get a college education, it takes you 4 to 8 years. It's not fast. Nothing in life that's worth having comes fast. So choose things wisely. Choose things that you can live with, that you can do, that's set up where it's sustainable and it's doable and it can run on its own if you need it to. So, hope you guys have a good day. Thanks for joining me.